Hi guys, we're back. We were here on Friday, but we're back again. You know how it is over here. So welcome back to AnimeInkart Live Talks. For those that are new here, for those that are already here, I hope you guys had a good weekend. Today's Sunday, which means tomorrow's Monday. It's not always fun, but just enjoy today. Enjoy the show tonight. So for those that may not know what the show is about, we talk with different creators in the community about their journey in content creation, how we can support each other better in the community. So today we have a very special show. We're going live with special guest Aran Lee. They are the CEO and editor in chief of the amazing anime, comics, gaming magazine, Off Blacks magazine, as well as Ty, who is part of the team as well as a writer and journalist, lead event coordinator, senior Magner reviewer. Also, she has her own brand for the press team B&K tour. They're also a writer, a journalist. They do amazing anime, manga, comics. They do all things nerd and otaku culture. So they're definitely gonna have a great show tonight. We're gonna be talking about their Kickstarter as well, because they're gonna have their first physical copy of the magazine for their winter semi-annual, and the Kickstarter is out now. So definitely let's give them a warm welcome and let's have a good show. Hi.
Oh, hi.
Hey,
How are you guys doing tonight?
doing good.
Getting bullied for Girl Scout cookies, apparently.
That
I'm
was
so sorry. I don't know. It must be so black because my mom is like, "Which cookies do you want?" I'm actually texting her right now, so I do apologize.
I love that for us. That's an amazing way to start. But I'm so glad to have you guys, and thank you guys for reaching out, wanting to be a part of the show and talk about everything that's going on with the magazine and the Kickstarter and all that fun stuff. So for those that I may not know who you guys are, introduce yourselves and what you guys do.
Ty, you go first.
I literally pointed to you to go first. Well,
I always go
hi.
last.
Oh my goodness. Well, hi. My name is Ty. I go sometimes by Blaquenkulture online, but when I'm with the Off Black team, I am a journalist as well as the lead event coordinator. I do a myriad of things for Off Black Mag, but mostly, writing, uh, uh, coordinating events. Yeah, that thing. And then, I guess whatever else Aaron asked me to do, whatever it comes to his mind. Truly just I'm here to support the team. So yeah, that's me.
That's not her real title. That's like that's her public title. Her real title is she's the president to executives off black decision making. It's very long. It's very long. It
Shut
wouldn't
up.
fit
Just shut up.
in one bubble. Her title is very long. Um, partner, whatever. You give her anyway. My name is Aran Lee. I'm the CEO and editor in chief of Off Black Magazine. Also the founder. Off Black has been on my mind. That's something I founded about 3 years ago, 2022. Even though I always kind of forget the date when I found it. Technically, we started in February in 2020. So technically, it's also anniversary time. I just never wrote down the date. I used to host a podcast with some friends called Black Anime. We hosted that for about from 2019 to about 2022-ish. And we did a lot of cool stuff. Met a lot of cool people, and I noticed that there was a vacancy in the community. And in my opinion, we might feel the same way, but in my opinion, there's a vacancy in the community where, we were doing a lot of cool stuff, right? From podcasting to creating manga and comics and art and writing and voice and so many things that we're doing. But we never really got the places and opportunity to talk about it at the scale that other people that, might not match our pigment did. You know what I'm saying? So saw that void in the community and I was like, how can we meet, not necessarily meet these needs, but also give people more publicity for it. And so that's when I thought about Off Black Magazine. And I had a friend at the time who was thinking about doing something similar. And we'd be like, good idea. He got busy, but I was like, let me go for it. So made Off Black Magazine, met a lot of amazing people, especially all the amazing writers on our team. We have right now we're with about 7. We have Ty, of course. We have Tiana. We have Tianan. We have a lot of T's. Alima, Daphne, Miles, We actually just brought a new guy on, Cody. His first article is going to come out within more than likely this week. And then, we have a graphic designer, Gabby. We have an artist, Toby, over in the UK. We have a video editor who costs a lot of money, but he's great at it. And we just we have a great group of people behind that really care about telling these interesting and nuanced and fun stories within anime, manga, nerd culture. So yeah, I'm happy to be here. I haven't done a podcast in a while. Okay, so I'm a little rusty. Okay.
No, y'all doing great so far. For the last time I spoke with Ty, it was an amazing time. So I'm excited, and I wanted to ask, when it comes to the magazine, I feel like, especially like with magazines, especially for the like nerd and anime culture, I feel like it's a lost art, and you do it really well. And something that's interesting that I found out is that it's like a mix, like the nerd version of like Jet slash Ebony magazine. So how did you come to like that inspiration? That's kind of cool, because that's not something that you hear often. Like, is the inspiration for that.
So, I thought about this. So my mom, so my house, actually, our parents sold the house too. Sad, but my house that I grew up in my guest room, we have a stack of like Jet comics, right? And I mean, and what I did a lot of research. Did some research on Jet, and Ebony, and when you look into the history of those magazines and how important they were for Black culture, right? For Jet, it was named Jet because it was about Black fast, like getting Black news around fast, right? And it during the civil rights movement, Jet magazine was instrumental in getting information and also uplifting Black people nationwide in the time when there was no place for us to do that, right? And then we had Ebony and Essence, and then there's other smaller indie and bigger magazines that have continued that work. But again, when I looked around the community, I saw that there was nobody. There's a lot of individuals doing it, and that's amazing. We need that. We need more people talking about our work and what we do, right? But I
Mhm.
wanted to try and find figure out a centralized space for us to do that. Like I like to say, when I tell people, I say that Off Black is a bridge, right? It is something that's going to take you to your next favorite creator, or your next favorite book, or your next favorite watch, or something like that, or or it's going to make you think about something different, think differently than you did before, right? So we're a bridge, and so we want to continue. And so like I thought about Jet's beauty of the week, right? I thought, in the beginning it was like highlighting regular Black women as beautiful, right? Of course, as it grown, in essence, now it's supermodels and athletes and everything. But
Yeah.
in the beginning, it could be an accountant. There's a beautiful Black woman that's an accountant, and you're like, wow, that's amazing, right? And so it was about showcasing, us, in our normal like space, but as beautiful, powerful, all those things. And
Mhm.
so with Off Black, that's something that I really want to do. Is I want to continue showcasing us now, but in the nerd space. I want to do the same thing that Jet and Ebony did for us culturally, societal way, in that way, revolution wise. But I want to do that for us in the nerd space. I want us to be able to look in this magazine and be like, wow, I didn't even know we were doing a magazine. Wow, I didn't like like we do some work with Saturday AM, and we do some work with other companies, and they sell books across the world
Mhm.
in stores, and we have worked with smaller indie companies that go and talk at schools and win awards and stuff like that, but people don't know about them. And so we want to bring that to people so that they can know about them.
Yeah, definitely. And you guys do a wide variety of things, between like how you have like the different podcast content that you do, and like the indie comic creators, some mainstream creators that broke out into Marvel and DC, like Stephanie Williams, and then all the editorials, even the columns. Like, you guys do it all, like when it comes to like that type of content, and like journalist content. And for Ty, you have been doing a lot when it comes to like what you're doing as a writer and a journalist and everything that you're doing. So I wanted to ask, you were doing it for a while before you came to Off Black, magazine, and then you joined the team. So for people that weren't there in the last show, how did you get the opportunity to work for Off Black's magazine, and how did some of the experience that you already had, doing press with B&K Tour, and you're already doing like Magna reviews and like sponsorships and stuff like that? How did that experience help you when you joined the team?
It's mostly just like alignment. I say all the time I was doing this for since like 2018 is when I got
Mm-hmm.
started, and couple different iterations. And the thing is, like, the community that we're in is big, but also small. There are people that you can be in this community for years and never see a person, or you can see a person pop up many times and you're just like, there's something about you. So I was familiar from I was running a podcast with Black Anime. I watched a couple of the episodes. Like, I was familiar with the podcast in some degree. Like, people would bring it up to me. I'm like, oh yeah, I've heard of it. And then at one point, Black Anime, I was even following the Twitch. Like, I would watch Twitch streams, and at some point, like, it just didn't exist anymore, and I was kind of confused because I was like, it just didn't exist anymore. I was kind of confused, like, okay, whatever, it happens, especially after like COVID passed.
Yeah.
Podcast kind of had like this kind of plateau, like the ones that rose, the ones that fell. So I just kind of assumed it was that thing. And then next thing you know, I see like Off Black the magazine pop up, and I'm like, this feels familiar. I've seen this before, but I couldn't put my name. I couldn't really peg where I'd seen it before. But overall, it passed the vibe check. I was like, okay, there's Black people here. Okay, they're talking about nerdy things. Okay, vibe. And I went through and I started reading a few of the articles that were available. I was like, oh, okay, this is like legitimate. And I was like, I'm always on for a new passion project. I genuinely joined Off Black because I wanted to write more. And that's all I wanted to do. That's all I wanted to do. I was like, I really enjoy writing. I would like to flex my writing skills. I want to join another organization where I can do this. And that's all I do. And then I joined Off Black. And then me and Aran had one like call. And then I invited him on my podcast that I do occasionally, the Black Coffee Morning Show. After that, he just won't leave me the fuck alone. Every day.
It's a crazy way to say it.
Every day. No, I'm joking, but it's just, it's truly just like, I give him a hard time, but to be completely plain and genuine, finding creatives that are on their same wavelength, who not just say the thing, but follow through with the thing. Being in an encouraging space has been really beneficial. And at first, I definitely was apprehensive. I've been a part of other organizations, and I've worked with other creators where you have a vision, you have a dream, you're really passionate about it, but ain't nobody really want to follow through. And then to be in an organization where not just like Aran is, of course, super supportive in the vision, but the team itself is a very comforting and supportive team. Everyone there is super creative, super just about it. And I think that being in a creative space and being in a space where everyone sees the vision and everyone wants to, like, okay, we want to see Black people elevated in this in these niches that we've spent a lot of time in, and these places that are really special to us. We want to see ourselves represented authentically. I can't help but to get behind that. So that's kind of just how I got there, why I'm still here, why I'm staying. I might leave eventually, but it was a joke. It was a joke. I promise.
She can't go nowhere now. She's stuck.
You're locked into this.
The podcast on Black Coffee Morning Show was interesting because, again, that was another time where he hadn't done podcasts in a while, and we're routinely putting our head down and just grinding. Like, that is like 99% of Off Black is just like put our head to the dirt and get some work done. And so I'm big on if I see something I like, I'm gonna go get it. Okay. And we were in that podcast and she was interviewing me, but I was interviewing her. She didn't know at the time. Okay. Because when she asked me I looked at her page and at the website. I said, okay. Then she started talking halfway through. She wasn't even interviewing. I was asking her questions. I'm like, you used to do event coordination. Interesting. We need somebody like that. Somebody. Halfway through that. Then as soon as we ended, I said, well, if you want to do something else, we want to, we always need more space on the team. So, I think that's like the beauty of this space, we've both been in it for a long time. Ty more on the comic side, me more on the anime side. And the beauty of the space is that you meet these people wherever. You never know where you're going to meet somebody who's going to be like not only just a friend or a confidant, but somebody who can help you reach your goals, right? And being in the space so long, you realize that like a lot of people would do it for the love of the game, and because we all want each other succeed. And so yeah, so it's beautiful woman. Ty has been amazing. My right hand woman, she's been amazing, and we've been able to coordinate, do some cool stuff. We still have a lot more cool stuff planned.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's amazing, and all the questions I ask is like getting into like talking about the Kickstarter over time, but it's just for people to get to know more about like what you guys been doing with the magazine. And one thing that's great, and I feel like is the blending between like Ty being in there and like what you already were doing and everything like that is like how you guys promote a lot of indie people that have broke out from indie to mainstream, just indie in general. People that I know, like Concrete Comics, and are people over at Midnight Comics, Red F Magna, like other creators like Supreme Senpai, like DJ Taylor Senpai. I love him to death. There's so many amazing creators and like artists that you got to work with in like that indie comics, like animation. You got to interview like people from Ayanu. So how has that been, expanding and deciding to highlight all these creators and being able to do it within the company?
I think I have to answer that
Mm.
one. Uh, like I said, this is a very expansive space, and what I love about it is that most people aren't going to say no, right? Because they, in the sense that they see us and we're trying to help them, and they want to and I tell a lot of the creators that we work with, and I mean this sincerely, if you're not
Mm,
successful, then we're not successful.
mm,
I was talking to the creator. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting his name, and I'm so mad right now. I'm forgetting his name. Oh God! But I was at BlurredCon last year, and I was talking to him. And I was talking to him and another comic book creator at the same time. And I was telling them, I said, "Hey, if your business goes under, then I'm feeling threatened
mm,
because I like what you do, and we want to keep talking about what you do. So if you go down, I feel like the whole ship going down, right? And I feel
mm,
that about every single individual creator that we work with, right? I
Absolutely.
want your stuff to be on billboards. I want it to be popular, especially because we have an internal vetting process, but when we put our might behind you through reviews, through promotion, stuff like that, that means
mm,
we really believe in the product you're putting out. And so when you're successful, when you have successful Kickstarters, when you can post, oh yeah, we had 1,000 orders, oh when you can do that, that makes me feel good. I'm like, okay, that means we're doing good, right? We want the people that we work with to be just as successful. So and we love that in turn that a lot of people have reached back out to us, like the Yanu staff. Like we have a pretty good relationship with them, and we've I got to see last year at Saw BlurCon. I got to see some of the Yanu episodes early. Actually posted a story about it
mhm,
on our TikTok and on our Instagram. We got to see some of the
mhm,
Yanu episodes early. I've gotten to speak with their team a good amount, and they love what we're doing, but we also love what they're doing, and it's I love how they also see the worth of what we're doing, and they allow us to in their world and to make those connections. But yeah, I can
And
about
also,
it. Yeah,
just a
go ahead.
just a quick aside, like what Off Black is doing is incredibly not just in like powerful but important. Like
mhm.
I can't stress this enough, but people, black people are a market. At the
Mhm.
Yeah.
end of the day, we're a market. And I feel like for a long time, whenever everybody knows the impact that black people have on the nerd space. It is prevalent in everything that you see, from the way that they use hip hop and street style to color their stories. Whenever they need a sassy black friend or
Mhm.
a big scary black man, black people are, but they need black people to, as a market, if nothing else. But I think what makes Off Black, valuable as far as like how we're expanding, why we're uplifting specifically these indies voices, is
Mhm.
because these voices that we're uplifting now, they are the future. They're literally they're what's coming next. When it's time for the next big movie to be made, when it's time for the next big, viral sensation, like
Mhm.
I think about, just even in myself personally, we saw, Gigi Murakami, undoubtedly one of the most talented mangaka
Yeah.
that I've seen in the last like 10 years, right? But Off Black got to interview her when she was still fairly, like, I wouldn't say underground, but she was still fairly
Mhm.
unknown. Now
Mhm.
you see where she is now. She's just fucking rocking it. But Off Black got the opportunity to I feel, to introduce her to the wider audience. Same thing with Stephanie Williams. Same thing. Not to say that these people weren't going to get the press. Their talent speaks for themselves. They were going to do it. They were going to make it either way. But I love the fact that Off Black is a place where, just like Aran said earlier, that bridge, you can hear it first from Off Black. You get the insights from Off Black. You get to see about these people. You get to see that, not just that early like burgeoning talent, but you genuinely get to see what's coming next. And I think that that's incredibly valuable. We don't got a lot of outlets that exist in this space that would not just talking about people that look like us, but it's made and ran and orchestrated and maintained by people that look like us. And that's incredibly important.
And there's one thing I want to say more, just because to kind of piggyback off that, is that it's important that we tell their stories. Like DJ Taylor Senpai was one that I, and actually I have another one that I might actually release soon. I was holding it back for a little bit. But there's like some things that are happening right now in the nerd world that I feel like I got to get it out by the end of the month. Actually by the 27th, so I might need to work on that. But DJ Taylor Senpai's story to me was really important to talk about, because he'd been in the game for 10 years.
Yeah.
If you've been to Anime NYC, you've been to Expo, you've been to almost any major convention, black or not black.
Yeah.
He was there spinning them records, right? And through his artistry, through his commitment, through all that, he has made it 10 years in that business DJ, making money off of that as like basically his main job. And that's not what we hear a lot from people. And the fact that he was 10 years in, and it was almost the end of his 10 years when we did it, and I didn't hear one person talk about that. I ain't one person hit that when someone that big important hit that milestone and talk about his journey, because a lot of people want to be DJs. A lot of people want that that prestige, and for him to actually go and do it, and and for his story to not be out there, right? I'm not saying he has done other interviews here and there. I did a lot of research on him when we did it, but that a decade in the game is hard. And that's in any, especially creatively. A decade as a game creator, a decade as a manga creator, a decade as anything, that is difficult. And also for it to be your main job, right? Most people a decade in still got 2 jobs on the side trying to make it work, right? And so I feel like we're also important for that aspect. Like we're telling these stories that are routinely either ignored or pushed aside, and for these people who have done these amazing achievements. And even like Supreme Sensei, she's done a lot of great, cool things. And when I was doing research for her interview, you barely see anything about her, right? Barely anything people talking about her. Is it here and there? Yeah, but barely. And I'm like, she's done a lot of cool things. She's been involved with, a lot of interesting innovations in the gaming space. And so the fact that you have to search hard to find stuff about her is bad. And so that's like just to piggyback on what Ty was saying. But I feel like it's really important that we do.
Yeah.
It's almost like we're journalists, It's
almost like that's who we are. Almost.
Yeah, it's almost like that's our job. But
And for Ty, well, the joke that was made, like, this is your official title within the company, but you are the senior Magna reviewer, also the lead events coordinator. So for those that may not know what that involves as your role in the company, you can talk about that.
Yeah, I want to be very transparent. That's just actually not what I do at Off Black. Just like it would be.
I haven't updated her title online.
Well, I also know that she does a lot of like the writing and the journalism for it as well. So
senior executive level.
Yeah, and she covers all the like the different cons that you go to. I've seen like a lot of the articles, but yeah, I just wanted to make that.
But essentially, I would say like my main functions right now is more like creative director is kind of really where I've been at this moment. I still write articles. Like I said, I love to write, and I'm very passionate about writing. I think general journalists, I know it's like I got brought on to do manga and comic book reviews because that's what I was already doing as Blaquenkulture. That's a passion of mine. I love yapping about whatever creative manga and comics. So that's what I got started in, was doing the manga and comic book reviews. But then I always say against my will, but it's really not. I always agree. I don't want this to sound like an abusive relationship. I do genuinely want to do these things, but But last year, it just so happened that both I, through BNK on tour and Off Black, got the opportunity to go to DreamCon. So
Mm.
this was our first time like actually interacting in person, because I had been working with Off Black doing articles and things like that for about a year or so.
Mm.
Maybe, I don't know, about six.
About
It's
6 months. That wasn't a
something like,
year then. Yeah,
yeah, it was 6 months.
we
Yeah,
over a
about
year now, but it was about
yeah, over a
6 or 7
year
months
now.
by
The
then. Yeah.
6 months. Yes,
Yeah.
this working relationship has gone very long and short at the same time. So sorry. um, but we had the opportunity to coordinate at DreamCon together, so that was our first time coordinating that in that regard. I was already going to write articles because, of course, I'm in there for press. I have to cover press. But then he was like, "Yeah, don't you want to write the experience article? Actually, you're writing the experience article." And I said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, slow down, Savannah. What are we talking about? I'm not doing that. Why are you asking me to do all these things I never agreed to do?" And he's like, "No, no, no, you're gonna write the experience article." And I'm just like, "You keep saying I'm going to," and then I did it, and I wrote the experience article. That might have got us in trouble too, but we'll leave that
Oh
alone.
no.
And then after that, after that, we did another event. I ended up writing an
NYC.
experience article for that. Yeah,
NYC.
and then it's just, I don't know. I just keep writing these events, and then I keep adding on to. It's like, you know what we need? We need a cosplay article. That's what we need, because I just can't. I just can't shut up. I just can't keep suggesting things. So now I'm doing experience articles and cosplay articles, and then of course, like I said, I have this thing where I just can't shut up. So when I came into Black, he asked me. He was like, "Is there something that you really want to do?" I have this really big idea, blah, blah, blah idea. And I'm like, okay, cool. That sounds cool. I also have an idea. This thing I really want to do. He's like, you know what? I think we could do this. And like I said, you've been in this thing where everyone says, oh, I can do this thing. We can do this thing. But now he was serious about it. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I like that. Actually, slow down, Savannah. I don't really want to do this. And I genuinely don't want to be involved. But we hosted Offlex first event, our first web seminar, which was Ink and Panels. Incredibly amazing event. Got no sleep, but we poured our blood, sweat, and tears into that event. And it's probably one of the single most impressive things. I feel like, in fact, we don't pat ourselves on the back enough. We don't yap enough about the incredible undertaking that was Ink and Panels.
I was actually gonna ask about that. So I mean,
yeah, Ink and Panels.
Let her ask. Let her ask.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you ask. But I'm just saying that incredible thing that we did. So it's just like TLDR. I started off doing one thing, and the space was comfortable enough, and I grew enough in this space so I could do more. And I feel like, maybe he might be doing something right to create a space in which someone feels comfortable enough to grow. But I feel like, that's just kind of it. If you're in a space and someone's cultivating the space to be comfortable and is allowing you to do your thing, you're gonna do great things. And that's kind of how I ended up here, against my will.
But yes, actually, the next question was actually about the Inks and Panels event and what inspired that event and how was the webinar? Because my good folks at Midnight Comics, Natasha and Lloyd, they had a panel as well. Red F, Magnus, a bunch of amazing people that had a panel, and you guys did a lot of amazing work to get it out there. So, how was the experience planning it? What was the inspiration for the event?
So, what was the inspiration for the event? Let's see. How bad should I get into this? So, this is my opinion. Okay, right. And I say this to anybody, so I don't really care, right? Everybody wants to have fun, but nobody wants to get a job. Okay, we all want to have a good time. I'm not saying I don't. We've been to enough cons. I want to have a good time too. I want to party. I want to drink. I want to have a good time, right? But we need work. Okay, and I talk to a lot of creatives, different creatives in the gaming space, manga, and anime, right? Talk to and one thing we don't see, right? We see a lot of Black people in the show, but we don't see a lot of Black people behind the show. We see a lot of Black people in the comics, but we don't see a lot of Black people behind the comic. Okay, and we talk mainly mainstream, right? And that's one of the big things. And so I thought to myself, I was formulating an idea. I was like, we need to do something. I want to do something that is, we're calling it more of a conference, but I want to do something that's like that. That's not a convention, because I don't really interested in conventions, but it's something that can help connect prospective creators with people that are established in the space. Okay, and that's when Ty came along, and she was like, "Well, what about this?" It took us a while to get the name. She's like, "What about this?" And then that's how that's kind of like the beginning of the bones of Ink and Panels, and we want to create a space for career development, right? I don't, you know, Miles Morales, love him or hate him, was created by not a Hispanic man, not an Afro-Hispanic man. I believe it's a Hispanic man, right? No, actually, no, it was white. It was Michael Bendis Jr., wasn't it? It was Michael Bendis, I think it was.
I don't want to. I don't want to say that wrong.
I forget who did it, but it wasn't a black person. It wasn't a black person who created Miles Morales.
You sure about that?
No. Double check me. Double check. We online. We can double check.
I'm just saying, if I, and I could be mistaken, but I believe that Miles Morales was first conceptualized from Donald Glover wearing a Spider-Man.
Okay, yeah. So I'm not saying that.
Then,
I'm saying
you're talking about the actual person.
Yeah, he was written into the comics by Brian Michael Bendis. Brian Michael Bendis wrote him into it, and he was partially inspired by Donald Glover's fan-driven attempt to play Spider-Man. Now, this is my thing. Donald Glover, inspired it. Why didn't they go and get a black writer to write it, right? Because, I would say, Brian Michael Bendis probably would never been written, because he's a GOAT, one of the best to ever do it, right? But since then, you can count on maybe like 3 fingers, how many black people have actually written a Miles Morales story, right? And so, and that is not just his story. That is the story of many of our black characters in comics, manga, movies, live action, animation, etc. We are always the inspiration, but we never the one that gets to call and says, "Hey, can you come write? You know what? I was inspired by somebody want to write it." No, we're never that, right? Yeah. And so with Ink and Panels, we want to create this space where we can become that. Whether it's through our own creator-owned stories, because we want indie creators to get their chance in the spotlight with their own animations, live actions, whatever, or if it's through the mainstream, whether it's through Marvel, DC, Viz, Crunchyroll, whatever, right? The more black people we have in that space, the more authentic and stories and real stories that we can make with us, right? And so that's kind of like the full idea of Ink and Panels, of creating this space where you can come, get mentored, intern, get inspired by someone in the space who's already doing what you want to do.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And I also want to talk about, you have 2 interesting segments. You have the off-screen podcast, that's more like the gaming, and then you have the exploring the animation plus exploring like the creators for the indie side. So how has that been, doing both and exploring that part of it?
So, video game thing. Now, me and my homie Tento, I met him through doing this. He's one of the most famous people I know. Who, if he ever listens to this, he's gonna be like, "Aaron, what the fuck?" But he's one of the most famous people I know. I sing his praises more than he does. Okay, he be getting flown out. He be out there like
he be getting flued out.
He be getting flown out. They call him up, say, "You want to go to Brazil next week?" And he be like, "Okay." And now he in Brazil, with WP. Like, that man, about to get you into the club for free too. I ain't going. Okay, but my boy Tento, great guy, great man. He's done a lot of cool stuff, like I said, in the fighting game space specifically. And we talked, and he was like, "Man, what can I do to help you guys?" And so I was like, "Hey, let's do some gaming stuff." So he made some videos for us back in the day. We want to get back to doing that. He's getting some more time here and there, and then we decided to start the podcast, which I'm going to post more, but this is like the Kickstarter's my focus right now. So I've got time to edit the podcast up. So we got 2 that I haven't finished editing yet. But we started the podcast because we want to just, talk more about, it's another thing I've seen. Like, I've been getting a lot into tech and gaming, and there are a lot of black people doing gaming stuff. It's gonna come off a little bit, but a lot of us we do a lot of reactions. We do a lot of reactions. Okay, you look up black people in video games, is 90% reaction channels. Okay, there's a couple Let's Players here and there, but they always live stream. It's not like people curated content. And then when you go like outside of that, right, and you see like we're streamers, right? Streamers, reaction content and Let's Play live stream. Like, that's like the main black circle, right? You black, you gotta be in that circle, you gotta be there, right? And I watch a lot of YouTube, not a lot of black people. And the biggest black people on YouTube are people who focus on like one or more thing, right? Less players, not as much anymore. That paradigm has shifted, but we see a lot of people who do fun content, creative content, funny content, or informational content. Those are like the main things that we see. And so, I keep trying to find spots where we can fit. And off screen was one where I was like, this is and also the FGC is criminally ignored
Mm.
by the main gamer community, and even as ignored by me. I like fighting games, but I never thought about the community of fighting games. And so, getting with him, I've learned a lot of things, and I got some fighting game tournaments. I find FGC events I'm have to go to next year. Apparently, that's on my
Yeah,
list
you
to go
do.
to. So, gonna have me
FGC is
flying
so much
around the
fun.
country to go to all these events. But yeah, so that's like the two things. Oh, he's exposing. So again, I could talk for days. Anyway, so exposing the creator, I realized again, it's another thing where there was nothing really like it in the space. Short form content that focused mainly on a creator and doing that creative thing. Also, within our interview system, we have our spotlights, which are more intensive interviews. They take an hour and a half, 2 hours to record. They take like a month to edit, all the stuff
Mm.
like that. And so I was like, I want something a little bit microwave, but I want a little bit of content that we can do that focuses on that one thing the certain creator does, whether again voice acting, writing, whatever. And so I looked around and I was like, what are some things that do that we could do in our space? And so I
Mm.
felt on like Variety. Variety does a lot of really cool 15-minute or less content, actors on actors, do you know your lyrics, stuff like that. And then I do like XSL's format on how they do rappers and every year. So I was like, why don't we have something like that for creators? And then that's when the idea of like exposing the creator came out. I use exposing because I think it's a polarizing title, but so I use exposing, and so that's when that came from. And so yeah, so I started doing that, and we've done three of them so far. I haven't released one, and I'm working on doing some more. But yeah, another way to put more creators in people's faces.
And now we're here for the fun part, the Kickstarter, and you guys are transitioning from like just digital, and now it's gonna be a physical copy. The winter semi-annual. So I know in the past you've talked about like this is something that you've dreamed of doing. It's just that it didn't align at that time, but now you guys finally have the alignment to start this and do the Kickstarter. So how much planning has went into getting to this point to the Kickstarter, and then we can talk about the tiers because you guys have about like 7 like reward tiers for the Kickstarter to as an incentive for people to get you guys to your goal, which is about 6K.
So I'm gonna start on my portion, and I'm gonna let Ty do the rest. Um, let's say for like the planning and everything. Like so what I always found so beautiful about Jet, Ebony, and magazines was they was everywhere. You go to
Mm.
your auntie house, she got some of her desk. You go to your grandma house, she got some. Shoot, I mean, some of the younger kids don't know because the Jet don't exist no more like that. So the younger kids don't know, but you couldn't escape Jet magazine. No matter where you went, there was a Jet magazine in a black person's household. Shoot, you was like, you read what last time you read this? She ain't read that in decades. It just sits there, right? And so, physicals was always the end goal. I want this to be something that's passed down for generations.
Mm.
I think that's something that you can only do with physical. Well, and I think that's the beauty of it. Like we're still talking about Jet magazine, and that started in like no, I forget the neck, but it started in the '60s, right?
Mm.
We're almost like and it's the impact is crazy, but also the importance. And so physicals are always the end goal because I want this to be again the Jet Ebony for nerd culture, specifically black nerds, and I want in 20 years some kid to be like, Mom, wait this off black magazine. What is this? Just sitting on their counter, like just sitting. It's a decoration. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I want in the future.
Um, as far as planning for a Kickstarter, uh, technically we've been planning this Kickstarter for about a year.
Mm.
I would say in technicality that I should say, or at least the ideation of the Kickstarter landed about a year. We've been planning in some shape or form for like maybe 6 months, 6 to 7 months, and then we just kind of been full steam ahead since. Um, the the Kickstarter now where it is, I feel like um specifically me, I've seen a lot of Kickstarters get launched. A lot of Kickstarter is one of those things where it's a very nerve-wracking process.
Yeah.
as you're planning for the Kickstarter, as you're getting it ready, you're getting it prepared all the way up until launch, you're just like, man, what if nobody cares about my shit for real? What if nobody loves me for real? And the whole time you're just like, man, I've poured so much into this. I really just want this thing to be successful. And then we launched it. I was like, oh, well, it's just another day. I guess we just gotta, we gotta get it out there. We get it how we live, and I think that's kind of the beauty of the Kickstarter platform is that it's really low pressure. Um, if you support us, it's because you mean you care. You want to see this thing come to fruition. You want to see us reach our goal, and I think that kind of support, that care, means a lot. And if we don't reach our goal, I don't think it's necessarily an indictment of anything that we've done or anything that we will do in the future. It just means that we got to grind a little bit harder to get people to see the vision in the way that we see it, to see, and to value it as much as we do. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that in pushing the vision, because just believe you me, this magazine will be coming out. There will be physicals, whether this Kickstarter gets funded or not. I just have to say that out loud, because sometimes people launch Kickstarters and you never see them again. You will be getting a physical copy if you really want a physical copy. But that said, because we have a Kickstarter, hey guys, you should fund our Kickstarter. Our goal is 6K. We're working really hard so you can fund our Kickstarter. Would you like to know what you get if you fund our Kickstarter? Hold on. Wait a minute. For the low price.
The ad voice.
But no, genuinely. So our Kickstarter, we have a lot of really fun. We have a lot of support tiers, but then we also have a lot of different things. I'll get into it. So one of the things I actually want to start off with is the ability to advertise with us. In traditional magazines, you get your magazine, you flip through, I see that perfume. I didn't know that perfume existed. I kind of like that perfume. Open that perfume sample, rub it on your wrist. I kind of want to get that perfume. You see, ads for cars that you'll probably never get, or maybe ads for books that you will get. I think the thing with this is that for Off Black, we have an ad tier. You just come in, you support with $1, and then we could take you through an ad process, so that's completely separate from the Kickstarter, but it gives us an opportunity to curate who is going to be listed within the magazine, which one means that that it's not just these random people. Can't nobody just buy their way into the magazine. There was a vetting process, but also it's just whoever's in that magazine who's advertising to you, we believe in their project as well. So they're supporting us by putting a little ad in the mag, but we're supporting them as well. So where the good is. Past that, then we have, man, you know what? Let me just don't acknowledge that. Next is the support tiers. We have 2 support tiers. We have just a thank you support tier that's $5. That's just like, hey, we appreciate you. Also, I didn't really realize this. You can just throw money at us. You could just give us money with no support. If you really love us, you can't just do without any tier. But I really am encouraging you guys to get something from the magazine. So I'll get to that momentarily. But we have a support tier that's $5. We also have our Ink and Panels tier. It's $10, but that is intended that any of the funds that we get, that's specifically to go to the Ink and Panels, that helps us actually to continue to develop the event. We're actually working on our volume 2 of the event for this year. Can't give too many details because it's still in its nebulous space, but the intention is that we'll be
we need one thing. We need if we had one thing. We could announce something crazy on here, but we don't have the one thing. It's crazy.
Don't think about it. Anywho, we have Ink Panels. We're working on right now. If we do our $10 support tier, those funds will be helped to further develop our volume 2 or our future Ink and Panel events. Then we've got our $15 tier, which is our digital version of the semi-annual. If you're somebody who doesn't like books, I don't know why, but if you're someone who's like, I just want to support, I don't necessarily need the full magazine, but I still want to see what's in it, you get the digital, and it's the entire magazine in its entirety, except for the additional goodies that come with the physical types. But if you're someone's like, I want the digital magazine, but I still want the goodies, we have a plus version of our magazine. That's a $15 tier. I'm sorry, $25 tier. You get the digital magazine, but it comes with a double-sided poster that comes with our full magazine, which I will explain in a hot second. Then we got the Holy Grail, which is what I really would love for y'all to do, is to get our actual Off Black physical semi-annual magazine. It's $35, but But let me tell you what you get with it. Hold on. I'll make it worth your while. Hear me out. Okay. You get the first of its kind,
Oh.
only one in existence, the Winter Semi-Annual Off Black magazine covering the turning tide of animation. It's got exclusive articles, it's got exclusive interviews, it's got puzzles made by me. I'm telling you, they're fun and difficult. And it's got and it's got original manga previews from some of your faves, some that you ain't even seen, which means we putting you on to the new hotness before the new hotness even real for like we putting you on for real. And then on top of that, you get a double-sided poster with both an image from Concrete Comics and Saturday AM, which is like two of the biggest black indie publishers out right now. Like that's hot. And it's included with the magazine. That like you just get that. Like that all of that could be yours for a small price, $35. Support us on Kickstarter. And then after that, we have our higher support tiers. We have a $150 support tier, which is the full magazine plus a lot of other goodies, and that's just like a super thank you. It comes with some additional posters. And then our highest support tiers are two $300 support tiers, which might sound like a lot, but you get a one-on-one session with the Stephanie Williams, like the Stephanie Williams. I think that value is made up in itself, and you still get the physical magazine with a whole bunch of goodies. Stephanie Williams, for her time, she's offering a signed comic as well as a script from one of her comics. And during the hour, you can ask any myriad of questions. But if you're genuinely like serious about professional development within the comic book industry, I can't see why that wouldn't be something that you'd be interested in. And then for the other one, it would be with Lonzo Starr. He's offering something similar, also signed comics as well. That same hour where you get to ask anything under the sun in regards to professional development. And of course, that also comes with the physical, the magazine, and some goodies as well. So I think all things considered, we're offering some pretty amazing things. Also, we've got some signed posters from Red F Manga. If you're not familiar with him, he is the creator of Golden Mist. He's doing signed poster copies as a part of it. We also have some sticker books made by our amazing artist Toby. Shout out to him, who is doing amazing artwork. We've just and even more stuff that like I just might be missing just because we put so much into this. This entire Kickstarter campaign was not just the entire Off Black team, but our collaborators coming together to bring together the vision. So I genuinely hope you guys check it out.
The biggest thing is if you don't get it during the Kickstarter, it's gone. You know, some of the stuff, some stuff will still be there. Some stuff will be there, but like once Kickstarter, some stuff will never be gone. It'll be gone, and I'm never going to bring it back. In fact, actually, if you don't get it now, I might think you hate us. So I might never bring it back. I might never ask our people to help.
You just might hate us if you don't get our Kickstarter.
The Kickstarter, you know, it's to me, it's one of those things that where we want to really see where we are. There's a lot of people who love what we do, and we want to keep doing that. But sadly, things cost money. Yes. And so we have to, we're very anti-capitalist here, except when we need money. So it's, but no, I don't want to press it too much about money. It's also about supporting these creators and what they're doing, because that's the main thesis of what we're doing. And so we have also like a lot of good ideas, a lot of stuff that I can't talk about, but it's a lot of ideas and stuff in the works that we want to do. And so, a little bit of support goes a long way. So, yeah. I hope you guys, everybody watching, at least check it out. If you go and look at it, I'll feel good. I'll feel good.
Yeah. So. I would definitely encourage you guys to definitely check it out. And also, I will say, I think that there is something, Off Black Magazine, we're a community supported group. Nobody here is doing this, because we intend to get famous or to make money. That's not why we're here. We do this for the love of the game. We do this because we're genuinely passionate and we genuinely want to support the people that look like us doing cool and amazing things. And a magazine like this, just anytime you support it, and not if you guys just decide to go look at it, if you decide you don't want the magazine, you just want to do a little small support. Hell, if you share it, gosh, I would be so appreciative if you just shared this to somebody who would be interested. Share, send it in an email. I don't know. We got a QR code somewhere on our Instagram page. Whatever you do, get the word out. Off Black is not just here because we want, we just want to make stuff to make stuff. We're here because our mission is we want to support the individuals that look like us, help get their voices out there and support and tell their stories. So anything you guys could do to help us, further our vision would be amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I want to ask, particularly like for the tiers where you get to get the master classes, which first off, that's amazing. That's a testament to just what you guys have been building, because a whole master class in the Kickstarter, like you don't see that often. So I wanted to say when you got the opportunity to plan that with like some of the, as you said, some of the biggest like creators in this in our culture right now, how did that make you guys feel? And to be able to have that for your Kickstarter, because like I'm gonna tell people, like, you just don't, they like those two creators in particular, based on interviews that they've been on, like for another podcast, Blur's I'd View, and some other like publications they've been on, like they say they don't just go to anybody when they do these things. So how did that make you feel that they were offering that for you guys?
Uh, you know, Stephanie is my big sis. I love her down. I love her down. I can't stress to you how you said plan. This wasn't planned. Stephanie offered this to us. She provided us this opportunity, and she was like, "I want you guys to get supported, the support that you need, and
Yeah.
I am offering my time so that you
Mm.
guys can. I see the vision,
Yeah.
because she believes in us. So I was just so thankful that I hadn't even considered it. It wasn't even something that came to my mind to offer when we were first coming up with the tiers. She was just like, yeah, absolutely, I'll offer my time. She came up and she gave us all the parameters of the things that she wanted to do. This was out to what you were saying earlier. It's a testament to the work that we're doing, like, because these two creators are clearly so sought after, like Stephanie Williams, my goodness, like she's a sought after writer. She's an incredibly talented individual. For her to see the vision in us, to see our work, to want to support that in any way was amazing. So I was just happy that she was kind enough to offer her time, as well as Lonzo. I was very thankful that he was kind enough to offer his time. So thankful. And yeah, an hour, again, you get an entire hour to just chat. You get a whole bunch of, like, they're giving you signed comics, all of them, they're handling that. So, like, it's a good deal. I personally think it's definitely something I wish I would have had the opportunity to partake in when I was getting started.
Yes, Ty, we were on the phone when we were just talking about Kickstarter stuff,
Yeah.
and she said, and I was like, yeah, because we were asking, actually, we are actually going to ask Stephanie to do, just sign a poster, just give us a
Yeah.
poster. That was the original goal. Hey, we just, I'm a big shoot for the stars, land on the moon type of guy, right?
Yeah.
And so I was just like, hey, just getting a poster, a signed poster is
Yeah.
amazing. Like, that would be
Mhm.
awesome. And she tells me, oh yes, Stephanie just messaged me back. She said she wants to do like a whole mentorship thing. I said, whoa.
You're like, what? Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I was like, hey, time is money, and that's a lot of money right there, right? And so it was it's one of those things where I stress it to our writers a lot, because when they say it comes with brilliance, this comes a little bit of self-consciousness, right? A little bit of imposter syndrome, and I think everybody on the team has that. But I tell them all the time, I'm like, you guys don't know who I talk to. Don't know how many people I talked to that read our articles and said, wow, it's amazing, I loved it, boom, 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 right? You don't know how many people, like, we get emails all the time from different people in different contexts, PR and whatever, that's like, hey, we want you to do this. We get emails from some people I didn't even expect to get to, right? I'd be like, how you know about us? What the hell? What you know about us? Right? Like even like, it's funny enough, not a lot of people know who he is, but the interview that Ty did, you might remember we did at the NYC with
For Aki Bright.
Bright, right?
Yeah.
It's funny. I tell certain people and they're like, "Who's that?" And I'm like, "Man, y'all don't know ball, right?
Yeah,
they don't know ball for real,
ball.
okay? They don't know ball, right? But like that was like something that, like, we got an email for, and I was, we were both surprised. We were like, "Okay, who are we? Like, who are us? Like, somebody, right?" Like, and that just fell in our lap when we ever do something like really cool, and that was a great experience. And we still get emails and contacts about certain things regarding that, and so it's like I tell my writers, I tell them, I say, y'all don't really realize how good you are doing, right? And how many people are watching us and looking at us and seeing, and and so when Stephanie and Lonzo agreed to do that, I was like, wow. I was like, yeah, wow. Like I'm like, everyone says they like what we do, but now, these they don't go all the way in. So I was very appreciative. Stephanie and Lonzo, amazing. They make amazing art, and they're also just amazing people. And
Yeah.
so it's awesome to get that we get to work and talk with really cool people all the time who we're able to convince to like, hey, you're really good at what you do. Let's make other people good too. And they're like 9 times out of 10, yeah, we should, right? And so they're looking for a place to do it, and we're all like
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
it was amazing. I was shouting on the phone. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's truly incredible for sure.
And I know for like before you even did the physical copy of the magazine, you guys always have particular themes depending on like what season you're doing. So for the Kickstarter, you have turning the tide of animation. What made you guys choose that specific theme?
Oh, Loki, because I'm a hater, but um, small bit of hatred.
You're like this a little bit.
Man, oh man, Demon Slayer, the Demon Slayer epidemic, the thing that has made Japanese children look up to Tanjiro more than their own parents. That's a real study that came out.
Yeah.
Japanese children at one point thought that Tanjiro was more, better than their parents. And with animation specifically, if you've been around, long as us, I'm not that old. I'm like 40. But if you've been in the space, if you're not in the space, but if you watch anime for a long time, you've watched older anime. I've watched anime from, the 70s all the way up to, to now. And there has been a great shift. There's been a big shift.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the biggest momentums of that shift is Demon Slayer. And so we talk about the turning tide of animation, tide as in water. Animation, that Tanjiro has water powers. That was my idea.
He was so crafty.
I thought I was I thought I was cooking.
He thought
it
he
felt
ate.
like I was cooking
he ate,
with that.
and maybe he did.
So that became our theme, and I felt like, no, we just talk about animation. Let's talk about how animation has changed over time, and that's also the turning tide, because like a tide of water turns over. Different times, different times of day. Like come on now, it's so applicable to so many things. Okay, so applicable to everything. So we have a lot of articles in there that outside of our columns write whatever they want. They get a blank check. You write a column on Off Black, you basically get a blank check. We could be talking about, I don't know, we could be talking about black mermaids, and you could write whatever the hell you want to. You have a column. So our columns kind of get a blank check, but for our editorials and our feature, we have, and actually, I can announce our feature because I did talk about that. That's something I can announce. I haven't announced that yet. So for our spotlight interview, we're interviewing his first ever interview, actually, with Cristiano Malik Terry from Enlight Animation, the people who are making the shirt I'm wearing right now. They're making Mafinga. And with the Japanese animation studios, Studio M2. Who else are they making it with? They're making it with Studio 4 Degrees Celsius. I'm forgetting what anime they make off the top of my head right now. All I'm saying is these are major players in the animation business that they're working with to make this animation, and we have basically the first exclusive interview with him. Actually, I have two. I got two ready to shoot at any time. We got two with him, and the first one I did is gonna be a spotlight, and that's gonna be basically their main thing. We're gonna talk about, if you talk about how they've made this happen, also about him as a creator and his journey as a creator, and that's one of the things we have in there. Then we have a couple editorials about the different stages of animation. We have one on 2D animation to 3D, and editorials are review articles. So this isn't like we're out there writing academic journals. You're gonna go in there and you're gonna see some opinions, and you might not like them, and that's okay with me. All right, that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
And so we have one on straying, we call it straying further from 2D animation, and how more studios have been switching to 3D CG and stuff like that. And then we have another one on, actually this one is ties. We have one on fan service, where the view on fan service has changed. The social view on fan service has changed over time. And then we have a couple other ones. We have some reviews of some anime that we watched over the years, manga reviews, and then And that's like, so the main thing is about animation. The summer one is going to be a different theme, which I can't talk about yet. But the summer one is going to be a different theme. But yeah, each one's going to be kind of have a similar theme to it, and our editorials will cover it. But yeah, it's cool. I think it's something that, again, I see from here to there, but I think it'd be cool to have like this one little thing filled with opinions and different stuff talking about animation and how we felt about animation, how animation has changed, because it is not the same. It is very different than what we used to watch in the early 2000s and the 2010s, even though the 2010s are almost the early 2010s. You realize that? The early 2010s. It's no longer just the 20s. It's the early 2010s.
It's the early aughts, the early 2010s, the late 2010s.
The late 2010s. It's almost 2030, y'all. We 4 years away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're like slow down.
Some of y'all about to be 40, still talking about, oh yeah, back in 2011. Yeah, brother, that's old.
Stop.
That's old. Okay?
Oh my God.
I do that all the time. I'm like, yeah, remember 2015? That's 10 years ago.
You're like, oh my God, it's been like 7 years since I graduated college. Stop it, 10 years.
I'm literally, it's that New York meme where her face is like she's holding her temples and the whole screen is shaking.
Or like the Cynthia Erivo and like she backs up like that.
Hey, man, it's coming fast. It's coming fast. And that's something we're going to write about too at some point. I just thought about the idea. I'm about to write that down. But each decade has certified itself in some way of animation style and whatever. And 2020 has especially been the Demon Slayer decade so far. So but yeah, so turns out of animation, how animation has changed, how it is currently, and how we feel about it.
That's definitely going to be amazing. Hopefully you get the support you need. I'll definitely help, even outside of this interview. So, like I got you guys. I'll keep sharing and everything like that. And one ask, there's already so many big things happening, but what are some of the other goals that you guys have for Off Black Magazine?
Can we say though? Oh my God!
I'll give some generic ones. Of course, our goal is to connect with more creators. I think that's always the goal. We're currently developing some different experiences. I think is the best way to say it. We're currently developing some different experiences. So if you like the Off-Screen podcast, if you enjoyed the Black Anime podcast, there might be something there down the line. I can't get into it. Of course, the goal is to further work on our volume 2 of Ink and Panels. That's like, other than this Kickstarter, that is high priority for us. And then our appearances, con season's coming up for us. So organizing our appearances for con season. And then beyond that, just being Black. It's Black History Month. So especially, being Black, but not just like, being authentically ourselves, continuing to do the thing that we set out to do, which is to highlight and to uplift and to further cover these amazing stories of people that look like us creating amazing things within this niche that we totally love. And that's kind of what it's going to be like for the future. It's just like that's our future in a nutshell. If I could surmise it plainly, I don't know if it's different for you.
She's right. I'm just like, I think we could say a lot of things, but we'd like to have things confirmed first, like at least like the beginning part confirmed. We're working on. So I will say, just to expand that, we're gonna, even if the Kickstarter is not successful, which pray to God it is, because that will help us a lot with again, funding a lot of stuff that we're going forward, and also something we really want to get into your hands. Like I said, once this Kickstarter is over, we may still sell. We'll probably still sell the physical, but it's gonna be very extremely limited, and a lot of those rewards will not be there. There'll be no masterclass. You will not get a chance. You're gonna have to catch her in passing. You have to catch Stephanie Wilson in passing. Right? If we have an event, everyone's committed. Do not talk to people on the street unless it's an event. Okay. Somebody asks you a question, you say no and keep walking. Okay.
Also, the cover that's there is I'm sorry, I forgot, is Kickstarter exclusive cover.
Yes.
The cover that you see that's on the Kickstarter, that you're only going to be able to get that during the Kickstarter.
Hey, they will be on the.
I'm sorry. I will have my copy.
That cover is
but y'all But
Okay.
y'all will not be able to get the Kickstarter exclusive cover. Also, that double-sided poster is limited to the Kickstarter as well. There's a lot of things that we're offering.
Well, that one maybe.
Hey, don't
I
not too
might
much.
pull
Not
that
too much.
out.
Don't give them. Don't give them. Don't give them.
She's
hope.
the one that tells
No,
me
I'm
no.
just
I'm the one that says yes. So, if y'all want us to do
insane.
something, you gotta tell Ty to say it because I'm gonna say no.
But genuinely, there's a lot of things that, as Aaron was elaborating on, a lot of stuff that's in the Kickstarter right now. A lot of, especially our like our add-ons and our specialty stuff, all the special things, everything that everyone's contributing now. That's just unfortunate. It's just not something. Not just you can't get it, but that's not something genuinely we would not be able to offer it to you because we wouldn't have the capacity at that time. So the benefit of supporting the Kickstarter is, one, you give us the capacity to offer really cool things. And two, by supporting, that means you get to see the full scope of our vision. You get to get it in basically the way that we perceive that it would come out. If you support us the other way, you'll still get something. It'll still be, we'll still be proud of it. We'll still be happy. You're not going to undermine our work, but it's just like, it's not in its full glory because it's going to take some more time. We'll need a lot more funding. We'll have to figure out ways to get it done. So yeah, support the Kickstarter is really what you should be taking from this. Support the Kickstarter. Let me get in your mind. Support the Kickstarter.
You're like we're manifesting with like I forget what they call it when they use the different sounds to like manifest.
Oh yes, ASMR. Support the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Really get it in your head. Support our Kickstarter. Share it with your mom. Share it with your sister, your brother. Take it to your pastor. We're kind of maybe not, but you're around.
I don't know about that.
It depends who's writing.
Depends on who's writing.
It's like I don't know about.
Actually, let me take but truly, if you know somebody who's
take it to the congregation. Don't take it to pastor.
Yeah, take it to the. But if you know someone who's into nerdy things, or hell, you know somebody who just genuinely interested in learning and just loves Black culture, wherever it might show up, go ahead and slide them the link to the Kickstarter so that they can get on this new hotness, so they can be a part of the movement, so they can be a part of supporting us. Because I'm telling you, where we're at right now, this is not even our final form. We're not even we're headed. It's going to be over 9,000. Oh, 2 Dragon Ball. Love that. 2 Dragon Ball refs.
Okay. Last thing I'm gonna say on this is slight vague posting. Ink and Panels 2 is coming this year, no matter what. The question is what form it takes. That's the question. What form will it take when it comes, right? And if we get some good news on Monday, then it may take a form that I've been wanting because I'm greedy. But if we don't get the best news on Monday, it'll still take a great form, but not exactly what I want this year. Either way, what I want is going to happen. Whether it's this year or next year is the question. But what form it will take. We're doing. We're trying to do it big. We're trying to do it big, right? This is as big as if we get it this year, it'll stay like this for a couple years, and then we'll go a little bigger. But the goal is this year to not step it up, but to
elevate it.
Make it more interactive than it was last year. And so if we are able to do what we want to do, we're going to create something that I think will really change this anime manga nerd culture space. In a way that hasn't happened since BlurCon and DreamCon, right? And others, how now everybody has a convention. Now we're gonna have something different. Okay. So that's all I can say on that. That's all I can say on that.
And one of the last questions, because you guys are heavy with the community, I always ask this question about support in the Blur community. I ask, what do we do well so far? To support each other, to support community. What can we work on? Because everybody, based on what they do in the community, have a different input to like what we already do well and what we can improve upon. I just like getting people's opinions on it.
I think Ty and I will have a similar but different answer. Similar but different. One thing that we both do when we go to cons is we open up our wallet. Okay, the biggest thing is I've said money and I hate feel like I'm money hungry, but it's real life. It's real life that without money things can't happen, right? And so I make it a point that when we go to conventions, we find the Black people, whether it's regular, non-regular. Black people. Second thing is I buy something, right? Whether it's a sticker, whether it's a book, whether it's a poster, whether it's all three or whatever. Just that's the first thing that you open up your wallet if you can. If you can't, the next thing to do is share. share it, share it, share it, because you don't know who you don't know. And we find ourselves like I haven't actually have used this story yet, but I'm gonna use it now. I use it everywhere. When I came back from BlurredCon, I came from first BlurredCon, I had a stack of comic books like this high. I don't even know where all those comics are, but I think my mom took some. But what happened was I came back from BlurredCon and I had a stack of comic books, big stack. And my mom starts looking through them, and she's a nerd, but she's not the biggest nerd. She's like fake nerd. And she's looking through, she's like, wow, if I had known these existed, and she's a teacher. She said, I would have tried to buy some of these for my students. Because I have students that are in comics, I have students that are in stuff like that. And so you don't know who you don't know, right? You might share this online, and your auntie twice removed might see that and be like, wow, I ain't never seen no black people in comics. Where I get that at? You know what I'm saying? Or your little cousin who loves Spider-Man, and it's like, oh, there's a black guy that does Spider-Man. Oh, I want to get in. You never know who you don't know. So one share, it means the world to almost every creative that you run across, right? A like, a share, a retweet, a repost, any of those things can change somebody's life because you don't know who you don't know, right? My parents told me one time, we like third cousins to Frankie Beverly. Okay, that I ain't never met the man. I probably, what I'm saying, I ain't never meet him, right? But somehow that's true, right? Every black person got that story. Every black person's like, yeah, that's my sixth cousin. Something like that. You know what I'm saying? Every black person got, that's my eighth cousin, something like that, right? Eighth cousin. That's not even family. That's older than a tree. But you never know who you don't know. So just sharing it on your story, reposting it, something like that, that is like something else that can really change someone's life.
I'll be brief, but I think that I find this to be a little bit more important than just general share. I think that one thing that we could totally improve on as a community is being holding people accountable, and especially people who decide to take up the space of being a leader. If you're proclaiming to be a leader, a thought leader, a voice in the community, someone that people can use your space as refuge, call yourself a safe space. That person should genuinely be that. We shouldn't ever have any inkling or thought in our mind that later down the line you could actually be someone who's harming people in the community. So one thing I'd love to see in the community is us holding people accountable who claim to be leaders, especially when we hear that there might be some issues with their interactions with Black women in the community. And I'll leave that there. On the other side, something I know that we're doing really well in the community, especially in recent times, is this community building. This way that we talk to each other, this way that I think more than ever, especially because of the way that our world is politically, I've seen Black people more than ever, especially during this Black History Month, really getting out and connecting with people, like leaving their house being like, you know what, girl, I'm a shut in, but I'm gonna put on my best heels and I'm actually gonna go out to Brent. I'm actually gonna go. Let me go to going out to local libraries, supporting library clubs, going to these little local bars, at least around me. I've just seen the community explode and come out and really support each other. And as somebody who is a part of community, and I do consider myself to be a community leader, that's special. That's so precious. So if I could encourage you guys is, if you see someone in the community, or if you want to make community, if you want to help boost community, totally do that. Get involved in the community. That's how we protect each other. That's how we show love to each other. And when you need support, it's your community that you can lean on. That'll be there to support you. So those are my thoughts.
That's awesome. And with that, I'm so glad that, well, first off, Ty, thanks for reaching out to me, for giving me this opportunity to talk about, Off Black and the Kickstarter and everything. Aran, thank you for your time. Thank you for agreeing to be on the show. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully you guys had a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime we get a chance to yap, we're going to take it.
And I just want to give you guys the time to just plug in where you want people to follow, keep up with everything, keep up with all the updates. Whoever wants to go first.
It's just Off Black everywhere. OFFBLXXK. I also got that wrong when I first joined the group.
Yeah, I had to when I did the flyer, I had to double check 5 times. I was like, I don't know.
So Off Black BLXXK. Offblaxxmag.com is the website. offblaxmag is all the socials. If you go to our website, all of our socials are already on there. If you want to follow us on Instagram or wherever else we might be online, it's offblack. Um, BLXXK. I just have to stress that. But yeah,
And if
that's
and
pretty
if
much where you
and
can find us.
if you want us to read your if you want us to
Okay.
light off and
Okay.
everything, if you want, and with that, the 2020 anyway. And if you want us to review your indie animation, your manga, comic, or if you want to work with us, you want to partner with us, we'll do something like that. You can go to our website. There's a tab that says "Work with Us," and you can fill that out, and I will get it. Don't hold me to a time frame. We are busy, but also check our facts first because some of y'all sent us
Yeah.
stuff and you didn't check the facts,
Yeah.
and then you
Yeah.
like, why ain't that? Because you ain't checked the facts. Okay,
Mhm.
our
FAQs.
FAQs are in there and they are up to date. So
Mhm.
check our facts. Just because you wrote something, don't mean we're gonna review it.
Yeah.
Just so you know, just because you made something, don't mean you're entitled to a review. But if
Yeah.
you want to work with us, we're always looking for more people to work with, talk with, and join the team. Either you want to join the team, we always have spots. Okay, we always have spots. That's how. Yeah.
And with that, I really do appreciate everybody that popped in, popped out, supported. I really do appreciate it. Long story short, for me, that those may not know what I do outside of this and just in general. Hi, my name's Lizzie. AnimeInkart is my brand. I make my own art. That's how it started. I traditionally draw, and it's inspired on Japanese animation, and I digitally edit it to create my own style. So we're trying to get back into that. We'll be at Virtuous Con. It's a Black-owned virtual convention. Excited to do that. This is the first virtual convention. There's a lot of other amazing creators that I know that are going to be there. Speaking of awesome creators, we're also an affiliate. We were the cosplay model for their My Cosplay is Black with Talk Noir. Make sure you use code AnimeInkart. You'll get free shipping. There's so many things that he's doing. He's gonna be part of the Geek Neek mystery box that he's sponsoring for that. The Virtuous Con box. He's doing his Black Noir box as well. It's gonna be. He's doing a lot of stuff at Midnight Comics / collaboration, especially for their anthology. By the way, we're helping promote that as well. So please support the Tales from Midnight 5-year omnibus, 655-page anthology. Go do that. I have my videos to support. Please click the link for when it launches. It launches on March 6th, I believe. So please go do that. Also, shout out to Blurs Unite. We got the opportunity grant with them. We also cosplay as well for originally for the brand, but we just do it in general. Been able to collab with amazing people. The podcast, I feel like, was the newer thing that just made me do a plethora of things, and that's just the mission was to support as many blurred Black creators, businesses, creators in the space, and it was more personable to start talking to them outside of just posting them on my pages, because this is like the birth child of like AnimeInkart Black brand spotlights, where I just used to post people and like share their links, but it came to a point where I felt like I had to talk more with them and talk about different topics and things that they were interested in. And that's how that happens. So if you want to be part of the show, definitely all the forms are there, as organized as it can be. All the forms, if you want to commission, if you want to know what we're doing next, join the broadcast channel on AnimeInkart 1. We have AnimeInkart Live 1. We'll try to post more clips, but that's like the podcast page where I can like share the promos we do in the other page. The AnimeInkart 1 channel, you're going to get everything that I can post at that moment, or any content that happens at that moment. Definitely check it out. We also on Facebook, TikTok. Yeah, we'll get back to it, but we have it, so you can definitely click the link in the bio for that. But I really do appreciate you guys. We're gonna have another show tomorrow. We have a few more shows coming up in March. We'll be at BlurCon, so definitely we'll love to see you guys there. I posted, all the cosplay and everything like that. If you see me, say hi. I promise you I won't bite. So yeah, definitely gonna be great. And with that, we're gonna sign out. Bye, guys.
Right.